Welcome to the Omega Union channel, and today we are going to explain how to design primers using benchling. So we have here our plasmid, where we are going to clone the gene of interest, and here we have the Welcome to the Omega Union channel, and today we are going to explain how to design primers using benchling. So we have here our plasmid, where we are going to clone the gene of interest, and here we have the sequence of the gene. You can find your sequence in the NCBI page. You go there, find it by name, and copy this code. Then you go to benchling, click on create, DNA sequence, new DNA sequence, and import from database. You paste the code, and once the information is shown, you click import. So let's start. We are going to use two restriction enzymes. They are NHE1 and EcoR1. So let's go to the digest tool, and then we type the name of the enzymes, NHE1 and EcoR1. Once you have them selected, they are highlighted here. Now there are some things that we have to consider. We are going to work in this space, this part of the code, and it must be downstream this T7 promoter and the lag operator, and also the hit tag. We don't want to work over important elements. The next thing to consider is that the enzymes must not cut within the region of the gene, so we don't want our gene cut in half when we are working with our product. So let's start annotating or finding the start and stop codon. As you may know, the start codon is ATG. Here we have it. So let's make an annotation. Click create new. Put a name. I'm gonna put a start. Click save. And our stop codon, TAA, it's one of the three stop codons. Create annotation and put also a name, stop. Once we have our annotations created, let's start making or designing our primers. Okay, now let's work on our forward primer. Let's select 20 base pairs from the start codon, and right click, create primer forward. Select primer pair. Okay, here we can see the melting temperature, the GC content, and the length of the primer. Realize that the length of the primer must be 20 base pairs. It's the ideal size when creating or designing primers. So another thing to consider is the 3GC clamp at the end of the primer. So let's find a more suitable site here, like this one. Or better, this one. From selection forward, and as you can see, the GC content is 60%. If you remember, we were using these two restriction enzymes, so let's use the first one, NHE1. Copy the sequence and paste it there. Here we need to add a letter sequence. It can be any nucleotide from 4 to 5, and let's add this, and I'm going to increase my overhand. Okay, my forward primer is done. Now let's work on the reverse primer. Select 20 base pairs again and set from selection reverse. Let's find the second restriction enzyme, and it's EcoR1. Copy the sequence and add the leader sequence. Here's my overhand, and let's give a name, primer forward and primer reverse. Let's choose a folder and select save primer pair. And now let's create a PCR product. And it's done. We have our fragment or PCR product, and I'm going to use the same tool of digest. Make sure you have selected the two restriction enzymes and run a digest. So we have here our virtual digest. Okay, now I'm going to my P28A plasmid, and I'm going to create an assembly. So click here, assembly wizard, and create new assembly. Select digest and ligate and start. Okay, select the backbone and go to the restriction enzymes. You select the first one, hold shift and select EcoR1, the second one. Right click and invert selection. So we click set from selection and looks like everything checks out. So we can go to insert, go to the product and select from the NHE1 to EcoR1. Set from selection and looks like everything checks out. Hit done and let's give it a name. Click assemble. And it's done. Remember that we created annotations for the start codon and the stop codon, so we have it here. Stop codon, and this is the fragment of the gene of interest that we wanted to clone into the plasmid. And this is how you can design primers in BenchLink. Thank you for watching.